The galaxy was at peace. Or at least, it looked like peace. The stars burned silently. Fleets of alien empires moved across trade routes, carrying goods and power. The galaxy that had lived for thousands of years believed they were the masters of the universe. Stars burned silently. They had the endless dark. They had councils. Alien ships moved across trade routes larger than anything the human mind could imagine. Expanded, and in their grand wars, they spoke with arrogance. This was normal life. To them, smaller races were the Grand Council chamber. To them, something different was about to begin. For years, the chamber was massive, stayed quiet, built with shining metals, grew, glowing crystals, to nearby and colonies of countless empires, never challenged the galaxy. Hundreds of alien leaders sat in a circle. Humanity looked weak, their eyes fragile, their scales soft, their wings, a species their of claws, dreamers, all shapes and colors, species that could be bent or crushed. They believed, but one day, the rulers in the Grand Council of the Stars, for thousands of years, rose. They had crushed smaller species, cold. If a race grew too fast, it was humanity destroyed. Must bow. If a race resisted, it was enslaved. The words shook the chamber. That was the law of the galaxy. Dozens of alien leaders the strong turned their heads, the weak some bowed, smiling, some and silent. In their eyes, many agreed was weak. They had watched humans had only one years. World, one to them, sun. Humans were like small colonies, crawling on a small blue planet. Their weapons primitive compared to alien technology. A laughter echoed in the council. Barely spoke of them. Erased when them. They did, they are weak. With laughter. A short but war. That day, nothing more. A single voice changed everything. They will beg us for mercy. The voice came from a tall, scaled figure. His eyes glowed with arrogance, and his tongue tasted the air before he spoke. His voice was sharp, like a blade cutting through the chamber. Humanity must be erased, he said. They are a danger to us all. The room went silent for a moment. Then, slowly, laughter spread. One alien leader leaned forward, tapping his claws on the table. Erased. Humanity. They are soft creatures. They still burn fuel in their ships. They are not even worth mentioning. Another hissed, his wings folding with amusement. Yes. They fight each other more than they fight anyone else. Weak, divided, foolish. But the tall figure did not laugh. His voice grew louder. You do not see it. They expand quickly. Their numbers grow faster than most species. Their minds adapt, their machines improve. Today they are small. Tomorrow, they will challenge us all. I say we crush them now. Before it is too late. The chamber shook with voices. Some agreed. Some argued. But most smiled with arrogance. A massive alien with tusks raised his hand. His deep voice thundered. Enough talk. We decide today. Humanity will bow to us, or they will be erased. Let the fleets prepare. The decision spread across the council like fire. The vote was made. Humanity's fate was sealed. To them, it was simple. Another weak race. Another easy war. But they did not know what they had just done. The message was written and sent across the stars. It carried only one demand. Humanity must surrender. Lay down your weapons. Accept our rule. If you resist, you will be erased. The message reached Earth. It reached human colonies. It reached every channel, every frequency. Aliens smiled, waiting for a reply. They imagined humans begging for mercy. They imagined humans kneeling, broken and defeated. But Earth gave no answer. Days passed. Still silence. Weeks passed. Still nothing. The council grew angry. Some laughed again. See. They are afraid. They will give up soon. But one old alien whispered words that were ignored. No, this silence is not fear. This silence is something else. He was right. Because deep below Earth's surface, hidden bases came alive. Because in secret shipyards, machines built weapons never seen before. Because in the silence of space, humanity was preparing. The aliens thought humans were weak. The aliens thought this would be easy. But in their arrogance, they had just made their first mistake. The alien fleets prepared for war. Massive ships left their docks, shining with energy weapons. Armies trained, soldiers shouted, banners of the great empires spread across the stars. To them, this was not war. It was a hunt. A small race to crush. The council leaders laughed in private meetings. Humans are already broken, one hissed. They hide in silence because they fear us, another mocked. To fight the council is to fight death itself. But the silence from Earth continued. No messages. No surrender. No cries for mercy. Just silence. The aliens began to see it as weakness. They believed humans were trembling, too afraid to speak. But there were whispers among the old ones, the veterans of forgotten wars. Silence is dangerous, one warned. Silence means preparation. The younger rulers ignored them. On Earth, silence was not fear. It was calculation. It was control. It was the sound of machines working in secret. Beneath mountains, hidden facilities came alive. Doors older than nations opened, and behind them waited long-forgotten projects. Projects humanity had sworn never to use. But now, the threat was too great. In the darkness, engineers whispered as they woke the giants of steel. Engines roared. Weapons hummed with deadly power. Humanity had always built in secret, always prepared for the day someone stronger came. While the council mocked, Earth was arming. While alien fleets laughed, human fleets trained. While aliens called them soft, humans remembered every war they had ever fought against themselves. Because no species in the galaxy had killed each other like humans had. No species had burned their own world with fire, with bombs, with endless wars. To the aliens, this was weakness. To humanity, it was survival. Generals met in underground bunkers. Politicians sat in silence, giving full power to the military. The order was clear. Do not answer. Do not speak. Prepare. In the far colonies, settlers received the alien message too. Some were afraid. Some wanted to flee. But the silence spread to them as well. They built weapons. They trained militias. They prepared for the storm. The galaxy watched the clock. The Council gave humanity one final warning. Bow now, or face annihilation. Still, Earth said nothing. The alien fleets grew restless. They wanted glory. They wanted the blood of humans to mark their victory. One commander sent his scouts forward, ships with fast engines and sharp weapons. They were ordered to scan Earth, to see why humans were silent. The scouts arrived. They scanned the skies, the satellites, the surface. At first, they found nothing unusual. Earth looked calm. Oceans blue, forests green, cities shining. To their eyes, it looked weak. But then, one scout noticed something. Strange signals, hidden deep below the surface. Massive power spikes. It looked like weapons charging. The scout tried to send the data back. But before the signal could leave Earth's orbit, his ship vanished. No explosion. No sound. Just gone. The other scouts panicked. They tried to escape. One by one, their signals cut off. Silence again. The alien commander received nothing. His fleet waited. His soldiers laughed nervously. Perhaps the scouts had malfunctioned. Perhaps humans had captured them. But the commander's eyes grew dark. He felt something no alien wanted to feel. Fear. Because silence was no longer weakness. Silence was the warning. The humans had heard the alien threat. They had seen the fleets coming. And now, they were waiting. The galaxy believed humanity would break. But in the shadows of Earth, humanity was not bowing. They were sharpening their blades. They were preparing their fleets. They were planning something the aliens had never seen before. The silence was not the sound of surrender. It was the calm before the storm. The alien fleet moved with pride. Hundreds of warships, each larger than mountains, lit the darkness of space. Their weapons glowed, their banners stretched, their commanders laughed. To them, this was history in the making, humanity's last day. The Council's message was clear. Erase them. Leave no trace of Earth. Show the galaxy what happens when the weak defy the strong. The alien fleet spread across the system, moving like predators closing on prey. But as they crossed the silent void, something happened. Their radars glitched. Their maps twisted. Signals blurred. The commanders cursed, shouting at their crews. Fix the scans. Where is the human fleet? Where are their defenses? But the screens only showed empty space. One young officer trembled. This is impossible, sir, something is jamming us. The alien commander growled. Humans don't have this kind of power. Keep moving. The fleet moved closer. Earth was in sight now, small and blue in the distance. It looked peaceful, weak, defenseless. The aliens grinned. "This will be easy," one pilot said. "Like crushing glass," another laughed. And then, space itself screamed. From the shadows of the asteroid belt, ships appeared. Black, sharp, silent. They had no banners, no glowing colors. Only steel and death. Human warships. The aliens froze. Their scans had missed them. Their eyes had missed them. The humans had been hiding, waiting. The lead alien commander shouted, "Engage them. Crush them before they move." But the humans had already moved. The first human ship fired. A beam of light so sharp it cut through an alien cruiser like paper. The massive ship split in half, its fire lighting the void. Silence filled the alien fleet. Another human ship fired. Another alien ship exploded. The fleet panicked. This is not possible. They are supposed to be weak. They are not supposed to fight back. But humanity was fighting back. Not with fear. Not with retreat. With precision. With fire. Every human shot was perfect. Every missile found its target. Every beam cut clean. It was as if the humans had studied alien ships for centuries, learning every weakness. Alien ships scattered, trying to regroup. "Surround them," the commander ordered. But the humans vanished. Their ships slipped back into the shadows, cloaked by technology no one had seen before. A moment later, they reappeared behind the alien fleet. More beams. More fire. More destruction. The first clash became a slaughter. Alien soldiers shouted in fear. "They are everywhere. We cannot see them. They are ghost." The commander's voice shook with rage. "Fight. We are stronger. We are greater. Do not fear them." But deep in his heart, he already knew. This was not weakness. This was not fear. This was humanity's answer. The silence had been a trap. The humans had waited for the perfect moment. And now, they were unleashing their hidden power. Explosions filled space. Alien ships burned. The proud fleet, once full of laughter and arrogance, was breaking apart. One alien captain screamed into the comms, "Retreat. Retreat now." But retreat was impossible. Human ships blocked every path. They were faster, smarter, deadlier. For every alien ship that tried to flee, 2 more fell to human fire. The commander stared at the destruction. His hands shook. His soldiers cried out. His fleet was dying. He whispered, almost to himself, "What are these creatures?" The answer came not in words, but in fire. Another blast ripped through his flagship, alarms screaming, flames pouring through the halls. Humanity had spoken. Not with words, but with annihilation. The first clash was over. The aliens had expected a hunt. Instead, they had walked into a storm. And in that storm, they realized the truth. Humanity was not prey. Humanity was the predator. Space was burning. Alien ships that once filled the void with pride were now nothing more than wreckage, broken metal floating in silence. The first clash had ended, but its shadow remained. The proud fleet of the Council was torn apart. Hundreds of ships entered the system. Less than half remained. On the flagship, chaos reigned. Smoke filled the halls. Soldiers screamed, running through broken corridors. Engineers tried to control fires, but the damage was too much. The commander stood on the bridge, staring at broken screens. Everywhere he looked, the same truth appeared. Loss. Failure. Death. Impossible, he whispered. These are humans. They were supposed to break. They were supposed to run. No one answered him. His officers were silent, eyes filled with fear. The arrogance they once carried was gone, replaced with trembling hands and shaking voices. One officer finally spoke. "Commander, if this continues, the Council will punish us. We will be erased." The commander's jaw tightened. He knew it was true. The Council did not forgive failure. And yet, how could he explain what happened here? How could he describe ships that appeared from shadows? How could he describe weapons that cut through armor like it was nothing? He turned to his officers. Prepare a retreat. We must return with what remains. The council must know. But even as he gave the order, a voice rose from the shadows of the bridge. Cold. Calm. Human. You will not leave. The aliens froze. Their eyes darted across the room. How could there be a human here, on their own flagship? And then they saw it. A figure, dressed in black armor, standing near the broken comm station. No one had seen him enter. No one had heard a sound. Yet he was there, like a shadow made solid. The commander stepped back. Impossible, he whispered. A human, here. The figure's helmet glowed faintly. His voice was steady. Your fleet is broken. Your time is over. You should not have come. Before the aliens could react, the human raised a weapon. A sharp blast of energy cut through the bridge, destroying the controls. Sparks rained down. The commander roared. Kill him. Kill the intruder. But it was too late. The human moved like lightning. Every shot he fired found its mark. Officers fell. Guards collapsed. The bridge turned into chaos and smoke. When the fire cleared, only the commander remained, breathing heavily, his weapon shaking in his hand. The human stepped closer. You thought humanity was weak. You thought we would bow. The commander growled, anger mixed with fear. You cannot win. The council will send more. They will send all their fleets. The human's helmet tilted slightly, almost like a smile beneath the metal. Then all their fleets will burn. And with that, he vanished. His form shimmered and disappeared into the shadows, leaving only silence behind. The commander collapsed to his knees. His ship was dying. His fleet was broken. And now he knew. This was not just war. This was extinction. Far away, on Earth, humans watched the battle reports. Screens filled with images of burning alien ships. Messages of victory echoed through secret bases. A general stood before his people, his voice firm. They came to erase us. They came to destroy our world. But today, they learned the truth. His words thundered. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not break. Humanity fights. The room erupted with voices. Soldiers cheered. Scientists smiled. Children who once feared alien stories now shouted with pride. The broken fleet was proof. Proof that humans were not prey. Proof that Earth was not weak. Proof that arrogance would be punished. But while humanity celebrated, the aliens mourned. On distant worlds, news of the fleet's destruction spread like fire. Crowds gathered in silence. Leaders argued in fear. The once proud council was shaken. For the first time in centuries, aliens whispered a new word with trembling voices. Humans. The broken fleet had returned as ruins. And with it, the galaxy's pride had cracked. But the humans knew this was only the beginning. The first clash was over. The broken fleet was gone. And soon, the real war would begin. The council chamber was a palace of power. Massive towers of stone and steel rose above the stars, glowing with ancient pride. Leaders of 100 species sat in high seats, their voices shaking the air. For centuries, this hall had been a place of fear, where weaker races bowed and obeyed. But today, silence filled the chamber. The fleet had returned, broken, bleeding, and humiliated. The survivors stood at the center, their heads low. They had once marched with arrogance, promising to erase humanity. Now their ships were ash, their soldiers dead. An elder of the council, his voice sharp as a blade, broke the silence. Explain. The alien commander dropped to his knees. His words were heavy. My lords, the humans, they were not as we believed. They fought with weapons we could not stop. They moved with shadows we could not see. My fleet, his voice cracked. My fleet is gone. A wave of whispers swept the chamber. Impossible. Unthinkable. Humans, weak humans, had shattered the council's pride. Another elder slammed his claw on the table. Lies. You disgrace us with excuses. No human could destroy our fleets. But then, another survivor stepped forward, his body scarred, his voice trembling. I saw it. With my own eyes. A human stood on our bridge. One man against many. He destroyed everything. He said all our fleets would burn. The words fell heavy, echoing through the chamber. All our fleets will burn. The council erupted in chaos. Voices rose, anger mixed with fear. This is a trick. They cannot be so strong. They must be stopped before others learn of this. But deep inside, every leader felt it, the weight of truth. Humanity had grown stronger. Humanity had become something the galaxy had never seen before. One elder leaned forward, his voice a growl. Do you understand what this means? If the lesser races hear of this, they will rise. They will resist us. They will believe humanity can save them. The chamber grew darker with his words. For centuries, the council had ruled with fear. But if fear was broken, their empire would crumble. The leader of the council, a tall figure draped in golden robes, finally rose. His voice silenced the chamber. Then we will erase them completely. No mercy. No survivors. We will not stop until Earth itself is nothing but dust. A heavy silence followed. The decision was made. Every fleet, every army, every weapon of the council would be turned toward one single goal. The destruction of humanity. But far from the chamber, in the shadows of the galaxy, whispers began to spread. News of the broken fleet traveled faster than any command. Merchants carried stories. Soldiers carried fear. Slaves carried hope. Across distant worlds, the story grew. Humans defeated the council's fleet. Humans fight back. Humans are not weak. On hidden planets, oppressed races looked to the stars with new fire in their hearts. For the first time in generations, they saw a chance. Meanwhile, on Earth, humans prepared. The generals knew the council would not stop. They knew a storm was coming. In underground bases, scientists worked day and night, building weapons never before seen. Soldiers trained, their eyes filled with cold determination. One general stood before his people. His words were simple, but they carried fire. They wanted to erase us. Now they are coming with everything. But let them come. Let them burn their fleets, their armies, their world. Humanity will not break. Humanity will fight. And somewhere in the darkness, the lone human warrior who had walked onto the alien flagship watched the stars. His voice was calm, almost a whisper. They rage because they fear. And their fear will be their end. The galaxy trembled. The council was furious. And war, true war, was about to begin. The sky above Earth was calm, painted with stars. But beneath the surface, the planet was alive with fire. Hidden bases rumbled with energy. Massive factories forged weapons day and night. The oceans carried silent submarines armed with power never seen before. Humanity had been preparing, quietly, in the shadows of the galaxy's arrogance. The council thought Earth was weak. They thought humanity was small. But now, the truth was about to speak. In a dark command chamber deep beneath the mountains, Earth's leaders gathered. Generals, admirals, scientists, and diplomats all stood before a single glowing table. A hologram of the galaxy flickered above it, red markers showing the enemy fleets. They are coming with everything, said Admiral Reyes, his voice sharp. Hundreds of fleets. Billions of soldiers. The council will stop at nothing. Another general spoke, his tone heavy but calm. Good. Let them come. Let them bring their pride. We will answer. At the far end of the table stood a single figure, tall, calm, unshaken. The man who had once walked alone onto an alien flagship. His name was spoken only in whispers, Commander Eric Kale. His voice was cold but steady. They wanted to erase us. They will learn the price of their mistake. Earth will not bow. Earth will not beg. Earth will answer. The humans had a plan. It was not just about survival. It was about teaching the galaxy a truth it would never forget. First, the scientists unveiled their weapons. Ships built with stealth technology, invisible to alien radars. Cannons that could bend light into pure destruction. Drones that could move like shadows, striking from nowhere. Next, the generals spoke of strategy. We will not fight them fleet against fleet. That is what they expect. We will cut their supply lines. We will burn their fuel depots. We will strike their command ships in silence. And when they are weak, then we will crush them. The room filled with a heavy silence. It was not arrogance. It was certainty. One young officer whispered, "But what if we fail?" Commander Kale turned to him. His eyes were sharp, like steel. "Then we die as humans. But remember this: death is not our greatest weapon. Fear is. And already, the Council fears us." Far away, the first human broadcast spread across the stars. It was simple. No music, no decoration. Only a voice, steady and cold, sent into every corner of the galaxy. "You wanted to erase us. You wanted to end our name. Now, you will face our answer. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not beg. You wanted war, you will have it." The message was short, but it carried like fire. On slave worlds, the oppressed cheered in silence. On trading worlds, merchants whispered in awe. Even in the Council's own territories, soldiers felt a shadow of doubt. The first battle came quickly. A massive Council fleet entered the Sol system, ready to burn Earth to ash. Thousands of alien warships lit the void. Their commanders laughed, believing the humans would hide or surrender. But Earth was ready. The moment the alien fleet crossed the outer edge of the system, the trap was sprung. Human warships appeared from the darkness, black, silent, invisible until the last second. Torpedoes cut through shields like paper. Drones swarmed, small but deadly, ripping apart larger ships. One by one, Council warships exploded, fire blooming in the void. The aliens screamed in confusion. "They are everywhere. We cannot see them. Our fleets are burning." At the heart of the chaos, Commander Kale's flagship, the Revenant, moved like a ghost. His voice carried through the comms. "Leave none alive. Let the galaxy see their ashes." Within hours, the massive fleet that was meant to erase Earth was gone. On the surface of Earth, people looked up at the sky and saw fire raining from the heavens. But this time, it was not their cities burning. It was the enemy. The Council had promised to erase humanity. Instead, their own fleets were erased. And so, Earth gave its answer. A message burned into the galaxy forever. "We are not weak. We are not prey. We are humanity. And we will never be erased." The galaxy trembled. News spread faster than light. The great fleet that had been sent to erase Earth no longer existed. It was gone. Destroyed. Burned in silence. Worlds that once laughed at humans now whispered their name with fear. Merchants closed their markets when human ships passed. Soldiers who once mocked the soft ones now prayed they would never meet them in battle. But the Council was not ready to surrender. Pride is a heavy chain, and the Council carried it with arrogance. In the golden chambers of the Council, rage filled the air. Alien leaders screamed at one another. How can this be? They were supposed to be weak. Entire fleets, lost to primitives. But among their shouts, one voice rose calm and bitter. We underestimated them. Humanity does not fight like us. They are unpredictable. They are dangerous. And if we do not end them now, they will end us. The chamber fell into silence. The truth was clear. Meanwhile, on Earth, preparations did not stop. Factories built more ships. Soldiers trained day and night. Entire generations stood ready to fight. But Earth's leaders knew the truth. War would not be won only with weapons. It would be won with fear. Commander Kale gathered his generals inside the Revenant. His eyes were dark, his voice sharp as a blade. They will come again. Stronger, angrier, desperate. This time, they will not just send fleets. They will send their entire war machine. A young officer asked, "Then how do we survive?" Kale looked at the galaxy map glowing above them. Red dots covered hundreds of systems. The enemy was vast, endless. But Kale smiled. "We don't just survive. We turn the tide. We make them bleed in their own homes." The humans launched their second strike. Not against fleets. Not against armies. But against the heart of the Council itself. Invisible ships slipped into alien territories. Human operatives moved like shadows. They destroyed fuel depots, collapsed communication lines, hacked defense systems. Whole colonies woke up to fire without ever seeing the enemy. Everywhere, the same message was left behind. Humanity was here. The galaxy could not believe it. Worlds that had never been touched by war now burned with human fire. Civilian planets panicked. Refugees filled space stations. Fear spread faster than the Council could contain it. In one outer colony, an alien commander shouted in desperation. "They are not fighting for survival anymore. They are hunting us." And he was right. The real turning point came when humanity struck a system no one thought they could touch, Vera Prime, the jewel of the Council. A world of towering spires, golden cities, and unbroken pride. The heart of alien culture. For centuries, no enemy had ever dared attack Vera. It was untouchable. Protected by the strongest fleets in the galaxy. But one night, as its people slept, the sky above Vera turned black. Human ships appeared out of nothing. Drones rained fire on the spires. Power plants exploded. The Golden City turned into ash. The defense fleet scrambled, but they could not even find their attackers. By the time the sun rose, half the planet was smoke. And before leaving, humans broadcast one message across the entire system. "You wanted to erase us. Instead, we erase you." The galaxy shook in terror. The Council's pride had been broken. If even Vera was not safe, then nowhere was safe. For the first time, Council soldiers refused to fight. Colonies began to rebel. Even some alien races who once followed the Council turned their eyes toward Earth. Humanity was no longer prey. Humanity was the storm. In the command chamber of the Revenant, Admiral Reyes stood over the map, eyes wide with awe. "We did it. The tide has turned. They cannot stop us now." But Commander Kale's face was cold. His words were heavy. "No, this is only the beginning. They will strike back harder than ever. And when they do, we must be ready to end this war, once and for all." The room fell silent. Everyone felt it. The war was no longer about survival. It was about extinction. Either the Council, or humanity. The galaxy was broken. Everywhere, alien worlds whispered the same name with fear. Humanity. The great fleets that once ruled the stars were now wreckage drifting in silence. The proud Council that once declared humans must be erased now trembled inside their chambers, watching their empire fall apart piece by piece. But humans were not finished. Not yet. On board the Revenant, Commander Kale stood before the war table. Around him, generals and admirals waited in silence. The galaxy map glowed red, thousands of enemy worlds still under Council control. Kale's voice was calm, but cold. "This war began because they wanted us gone. They thought we were weak. They thought we would break. Instead, we became the fire that burns their empire." He pointed to the Council's homeworld. "A shining star on the map. Now, we end it. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now." The human fleet moved like a storm. Millions of ships poured into enemy space. Not slow, not cautious, relentless. Every system they entered turned silent. Defense platforms were hacked, fleets destroyed, planets left burning. The Council tried to gather resistance. Armadas were built in desperation. But no matter how many fleets they sent, humans broke them. No matter how many traps they set, humans escaped. It was as if humanity had become something more than flesh. A shadow in the void. A predator no one could predict. At last, the final battle came. The Council's homeworld, Coria's Prime, shining with towers of crystal and oceans of silver. The proudest jewel of the galaxy. The seat of their power. Every remaining fleet gathered there. Millions of ships filled the skies, waiting to face humanity one last time. When the humans arrived, the stars themselves seemed to vanish. Their fleet was vast, dark, endless. At the front stood the Revenant, silent and deadly. The enemy sent a broadcast across the stars. "This is your last chance. Bow to the Council, and live." But humanity did not reply. Instead, Commander Kale gave only 2 words. No survivors. The battle began. Alien ships charged forward, filling space with fire. The skies burned with plasma and missiles. The Council fought with desperation, every ship pouring everything into the fight. But the humans were merciless. Their weapons cut through fleets like knives through paper. Their drones swarmed in waves, overwhelming defenses. Human warships unleashed weapons the Council had never seen before: planet-cracking beams, silent missiles that bent space, storms of metal that shredded entire armadas. In hours, millions of alien ships were gone. The sky above Corias turned into a graveyard of wreckage. Still, the humans did not stop. The fleet descended on the planet itself. Corias Prime, the shining jewel, now faced the fire. Defense shields shattered. Cities burned. Oceans boiled. Towers of crystal fell into dust. From orbit, the humans unleashed their final weapon. A spear of light that cut through the planet's heart. Corias shook. Its core cracked. Fire rose from within. The Council screamed in desperation, sending message after message. Stop. We surrender. Please. We yield. Spare us. But humanity remembered. They remembered the words that started it all. Humanity must be erased. And so, they gave their answer. Corias Prime exploded in silence. The jewel of the galaxy was gone. The war ended that day. The Council no longer existed. Their fleets were ashes. Their worlds lay in ruin. The proud empire that once ruled the stars had been erased. Humanity stood alone. Not as prey. Not as the weak ones. But as the new rulers of the galaxy. Every race, every world, every survivor now looked upon Earth with fear and respect. For the galaxy had learned a truth it would never forget. Those who beg for war with humanity will find only extinction.